Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Brad, and with me, as always, is Jamie, and this is the Race Car Spelled Backwards podcast. Jamie, how the heck are you doing, my friend?
Pretty energetic today, Brad.
You like that?
Yeah, that was. Hey, this is Jamie of this podcast.
Are you fantastically fantastic, amazingly amazing, or just okay?
I'm being very safe today.
I see that.
Yeah, safety first.
Safety is always
Safety
first.
first.
I mean, you
I got
got
my bicycle shirt on,
yeah.
helmet. Didn't wear the pants. I should have wore the pants, huh?
You should have. You need elbow pads.
I got kind of an elbow pad
the
called
wrist protectors.
the hole that's filling up with scar tissue.
Still,
Well, 12 to 18 months is what they told me.
wow.
Yeah, you don't want a flesh-eating amoeba
Yeah,
inside of your skin.
You don't want COVID of the arm, is what he's saying.
Stop. That might become a thing.
It will. Dr. Fauci said it was. COVID of the arm.
Is he even still with us?
I don't think he died, no.
He's just not relevant anymore?
I think he disappeared. He doesn't want to go to jail, so he disappeared.
Can you go to jail for just making up crap? Because we'd be in jail.
Well, they're trying to arrest Trump, so.
No, they already indicted him. He's getting arrested.
No, he's not.
He's getting arrested. I think he'll beat the charges.
Well, I mean, Pelosi said he gets.
There's someone to quote.
Pelosi said they're going to give him a fair trial to prove he's innocent. But I was under the impression in America it was innocent until proven guilty, not guilty until proven innocent. So basically, she just told you their game plan.
Everyone we've mentioned, except for maybe Fauci, is a politician.
I think Fauci's a politician.
Do you believe any of them?
No.
I trust lawyers before I trust politicians, and I don't trust lawyers.
Yeah, no, I don't believe any of them. I've never met a politician that I trusted. And I think that's an oxymoron, saying trusted politician.
So you got two extremes, Pelosi and Trump. They're so extreme they meet back on the dark side of the moon.
I'm sure. They're probably friends.
Gravity makes that line.
Well, they're the same. They're probably the same age, right? I don't know how old Trump is.
I think him, Joe.
Late 70s.
Oh, yeah. He's like 2 or 3 years younger than Joe.
Oh, okay. So that makes him old.
They're dirt. Yeah. But he thinks by calling Joe old, we'll forget that he's old.
Yeah, he calls Joe old, but Joe's only got him about a couple years.
Yeah.
So that's ridiculous, man.
I mean,
it's all a sham.
Really, it's just that we've turned the White House into a nursing home. I mean, sorry, people.
You know what?
How did we go from Obama, regardless of your beliefs, whether he was a good or bad president, who was one of the younger presidents? How do you go from a young, vivacious liberal Democrat to an old, crotchety, Happy Meal eating redhead to a chew your cud, drooling senior citizen? How do you get there? And then you got Fetterman, who's young. He ain't vivacious.
He's out of the hospital though. So
but here's can you imagine? This is him on the Senate floor. And they're like, John, stop it. John,
they should make
him. You stop that?
Joe's going to be wearing a helmet like you soon.
Should we ship him one? No, we'll get arrested by the Secret Service.
Definitely get arrested.
Why did you send him a helmet?
Because he needs it.
Because if he falls out of his walker, we don't want him to hit his head.
I really just worry about him falling down the stairs on Air Force One.
I worry.
I think if we send him a helmet, he'd be okay.
I had a friend whose older grandparents lived with him. They had a chair that went up the staircase.
Oh, the seated one.
Yeah, the lever. Yeah. They just went.
Did you ride it?
I did, of course. Wow, could you not?
I know. I'm just sitting there. I'm kind of jealous, to be honest with you.
It couldn't have been cheap. It ran on this monorail like they have at Disneyland. It went like flat for a second, then it went, and the chair adjusted so that you're like.
Does it do the chair of the steps?
There was kind of like this clicking thing. Like if the electricity went out, you wouldn't slide all the way to the bottom and die.
Yeah, I'm sure it probably has like notches.
Some safety device, yeah.
But here's my thing. If your legs don't work and you're halfway up the stairs and the power goes out and you're stuck on it, does it have a manual crank so you can get yourself to the top?
Well, the power never went off. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
or do you have to go
I'm not saying it went off. I'm just saying.
Do you have to go grab your grandparent, lift them up, throw them like a sack of potatoes over your shoulder, and take them all the way up or down, depending on where they want to go?
Well, the whole point of getting the chairlift is so you don't have to wait on somebody to help you up and down the stairs. So if Grandma's at home by herself, she's riding up the chairlift during a thunderstorm, power goes out, now Grandma's stuck halfway up, thunderstorm going on, tornado sirens start going off. It's a safety issue on another level.
I think there was a seatbelt on it even.
So now she's strapped in, tornadoes coming, power's out.
You need a helmet, dude.
She don't have a helmet, though, because it doesn't say on the chairlift to put your helmet on.
Maybe you need a Hans device on that sucker, too.
Well, you need a way to, you have to have a manual crank to go up or down.
Have you seen, like, a rich person's house where they have the split circular staircase going up?
You think it could go all the way around?
I think you need two and do races.
Yeah, like drag lifts.
Yeah, supercharge that sucker.
Then Grandma and Grandpa can race each other up the stairs, down the stairs.
Do you think that they need that at the White House, or do you think they put in an elevator?
I think because he's the president, and they don't want to embarrass him by putting him on a chairlift, because maybe he might think that's embarrassing. I think probably one of the Secret Service guys just unplugs him. And
well, you know, Franklin Delano Roosevelt was handicapped. They rolled him around in wheelchairs. He put on his leg braces.
Well, I know they have elevators inside the White House. You haven't seen that movie White House Down with Jamie Foxx?
Yeah, but they broke.
They had elevators.
They did, but they broke down.
They only broke them for the movie.
You think they filmed that there? Or?
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was Tyler Perry's house they filmed it at.
I mean, it could have been. Don't he live at the White House?
The White House of Georgia.
Yeah. The little White House. There is a little White House in Georgia. Yeah,
in Warm Springs, just south of here. Mm-hmm. West of me, south of here.
Warm Springs, Georgia. So, Jamie, would you like to explain to everybody listening, Jamie is currently wearing a bicycle helmet.
An orange one.
Yes, an orange one.
Orange, white, and black.
Kind of has like Junior Motorsports vibes going on.
It does. Black. But I got it because my favorite baseball team is the Baltimore Orioles.
Okay.
And they have white, black, and orange. And Cal Ripken, who is the greatest baseball player to ever live. And if there's haters out there that want to argue with me like some other haters, I hate you.
Would you like to explain to everybody
watching? Do not tell me Cal Ripken is not the greatest baseball player to ever live. Ever! Or we're going to have it out. We're going down.
He meant it.
Uh-huh.
I think Jamie was serious that time.
I am.
So, Jamie, would you like to explain to everybody listening and watching right now, why you're wearing a helmet?
Well, we had a hater tell me that...
not even look at you, man. You're just killing me. I love it.
I've mentioned that we didn't wear helmets when I was a kid.
Yeah, neither did we. We rode in the back window of the car.
Well, we had someone hate on me for it.
They did, actually. 2 people pointed out how wearing helmets saved their lives recently. Unfortunately for those 2 people, we were not referring to recent events. Even in the short I posted, it was very clear that Jamie, 50-year-old dude,
I wear a helmet when I ride my bike,
said, I didn't wear a helmet when I was a little kid. Obviously, that didn't happen 3 weeks ago.
There's trolls on the internet, dude.
There's idiots on the internet.
Social media, there's just
YouTube
idiots.
Is full of snowflakes. And so we discussed the term snowflake earlier, and if that offends you in any way, you can go ahead and...
Do you think we have some listeners or viewers that are actual snowflakes? Up in Canada, maybe?
Maybe.
There could be some snowflakes that watch us or listen to our podcast.
I'm just going to say, though, I think if you're a true snowflake that's offended by, which I guess a snowflake is somebody who's offended by everything. So if you're a true snowflake, you probably stopped listening to this show around episode 3.
So you probably don't even recognize that I'm making fun of you by wearing this helmet.
But he is.
Uh-huh.
So if you know somebody who's
this is a criticism of your criticism.
So yeah, we apparently were on a roll last week with offending YouTubers.
Pissed off some people, dude.
So we triggered quite a few people. Chainism on YouTube was very bothered by the fact that we used the term gun violence. And he asked us, please, to never use the term gun violence again.
Did he support the right to bear arms, or was he against it?
I was really confused by that because, we support the Second Amendment.
Yes.
And I still would use the term gun violence because that's how you describe
I have a
violence
gun in my backpack right now, but I'm not pulling it out because I'm not gonna be violent with it.
Well, his point, and he said this. He said, "Please, no longer use the term gun violence." And it's not the gun it's not the gun that's being violent. It's the person using it. Now, I agree. That's like saying the pencil misspelled your words or the fork made you fat. It didn't. But
I've been walking out in my woods before.
I just don't understand why people are so dang sensitive.
And I've heard a gun discharge, and you can tell if it's aimed towards you based on the sound.
Yeah, the feel.
Yeah. And I did not see the person shooting the gun, but I knew it was aimed in my direction, and just the explosion of the gun was violent. The report.
But I always thought the term gun violence meant it was violence conducted with a gun. It didn't mean the gun was laying on the counter and say, you know what, I'm in a bad mood. I'm going to jump up and I'm going to shoot everybody.
Well, I showed you my cat with a gun.
Well, that is true. Your cat did have a gun.
She was not violent.
But she read the book. Gun safety for cats.
We gave Thea a gun safety class.
Yeah,
so
but
we trust her
now
with that Colt model 1911.
She's been trained though.
Yes.
Chainism here on YouTube, he went all Karen on me.
I think he's a douchebag.
I would go with that.
Yeah.
The uppity up douchebag, snowflake.
I wonder if his guns ever woke up and slapped him in the face.
But what made you think this? Even the clip I posted on YouTube was not even about gun violence. It said gun violence. Heck, I lost my shoes when I got hit by a car.
So
that was what you said in the clip, and he got all offended by the word gun violence. And Chainism has asked us, and since you asked us nicely not to say gun violence, we're going to say gun violence probably more than we need to on this episode.
I noticed in a bunch of the
gun violence will probably be in the name.
There was some gun violence.
There was gun violence during the race. You didn't see it on the race.
I saw a wreck, and when the impact of a car hitting another car, it made a violent
gun sound.
So
it was almost gun violence.
Almost gun violence.
Yeah, it happened.
That car wreck in Indian, Texas offended me.
It was probably Ross Chastain's fault.
Yeah.
So I also offended another snowflake.
You did a lot of offending.
I know, man. I've offended 3 people in a whole week.
He thinks you hate cops because...
So Timothy Woodall 3222, Mr. Sensitive on YouTube, took offense somehow and went all Karen on me when I posted a video of 2 police officers who had pulled over a guy. All I said was, I wonder what this guy did to need 2 cops to pull him over. I was just curious as to what he did. Nothing offensive about the cops. Nothing. And Timothy Woodall 3222, he got all mad, said, I bet if you were in an accident and were begging, you'd be begging the cops to protect you then. Stop with the hypocrisy and the BS. Then he gave me the middle finger emoji.
So I carry guns. So, the only time I need a cop is if I break down on the interstate. I need a blue light behind me so that, these morons in Atlanta don't swerve and hit me violently, like gun violence. But I've never participated in gun violence with my guns.
Have you ever heard a noise at your house and went outside?
Well, I live in the middle of nowhere, so yes, with my gun.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you take your gun with you when you hear a noise?
I keep a gun near the door.
I'm the kind of person, when I hear a noise outside, I'll grab a gun. I usually get a few extra clips. Then I'll tell my wife, if you hear gunshots, call 911. But if you don't,
makes sense.
Don't call nobody. We don't need the police here. We only need the police here after.
Your wife would probably call if she heard it and say, I just heard gun violence. My husband's out there.
Yeah, probably.
Would that be offensive to you or the police?
No, but it would offend Chainism. He would.
Is he for or against the Second Amendment?
He's a snowflake, man. He's too. You can't be pro-gun and be as sensitive as he is. I mean, like I said, Timothy Woodall, he was all flustered over the police thing. Like, I have nothing against the police.
I mean, maybe.
You have anything against police? Are you an anti-cop person?
No, but I've been harassed by police.
Exactly. So,
you know,
I have nothing against. I'm not a defund the police kind of guy.
I get pulled over weekly in Barnesville because of the kind of car I drive.
You would think they'd know you by now, though.
Oh, I think they know me, and that's the problem, because I've become quite an advocate of mouth violence.
Oh, so you
it's the same guy.
You talk back.
Well, now I do, because it's the same guy. He knows every car I'm driving.
My problem is, like, how we get to a point in this country where everybody's so sensitive. Like, everybody is offended by everything. You know, we grew up with people like Slim Shady, Chris Rock, you know,
Beavis and Butthead,
South Park,
King of the Hill. I
mean, you even go back even farther than that. Eddie Murphy,
well, Jennifer Aniston just came out and said Friends now offends people.
It does,
but
I don't know how. But everything's offensive, but everything's not meant offensively. I think that's where we got to get back to. We got to be able to laugh. That's our problem as a nation. None of us laugh anymore.
Isn't it weird? You're actually hating by pretending to be politically correct, but you're still hating. You're just a hater.
I can't even pretend to be politically correct anymore because I don't even know what is and what is not politically correct. If something offends you, you get mad at me. But if I word it the other way, not to offend you, and it offends me, I'm not allowed to get mad at you.
I think
that's why this thing doesn't work here.
I think Timothy will be overjoyed. And I'm assuming you're a male, but because we've dedicated some of this time to you, you probably have Wood.
Woodall.
Yeah. Isn't that his name, Woodall?
That is it. Timothy Woodall, 3222.
That last name offends me.
It does offend me. All. Because it says
That
all.
means there's no females involved. Well, just wood. All wood.
Actually, he's being inclusive by including all types of wood.
But all men.
Hardwood, hickory, oak, pine. It doesn't matter.
Pine's not hardwood, though.
All I'm saying is
we need Viagra to make that a hardwood.
We've just gotten to the point where anything you say, like Jamie could be offending somebody right now with that helmet on. He's offending people in Florida that don't wear helmets.
I'm going to offend some more people.
By taking it off.
Well, I'm going to take it off. Now I'm very unsafe. But for all you Ferrari fans, there's only one pony that means Jack Doo-Doo, and that is that pony! That pony right there!
How about them ponies?
From Stuttgart! Not some Italian pony!
So last week, Rick Hendrick and his team went up against the appeal board to appeal their NASCAR penalty for the modified louvers that Hendrick said, yes, we modified to make them fit because they didn't come right from the factory.
That offended me.
Well, the appeals board agreed with NASCAR. Hendricks did, in fact, break the rule. But the appeals board decided to give them their points back. They still had to pay $100,000 each, and they lost their crew chiefs for 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks, 1 more week. Yes, Richmond, Coda, Atlanta. So Bristol Dirt will be the last week without their crew chief, and they'll be back after that, after the dirt race in Bristol.
The lack of
But their points, the only thing that matters on a penalty, as we'll continue to discuss here,
especially billionaire team owners,
losing points is the only thing that matters. The money doesn't matter. They've got the money. The points matter. So NASCAR said, you broke this rule. Rick Hendrick, Chad Canals basically said, yes, we broke this rule because you didn't meet the specs that you put in place for this rule. So we broke the rule to make the part fit. The appeals board then goes out and says NASCAR is 100% correct. You broke the rules. But we're going to give you your points back.
How do you feel about that? It's not very consistent.
I like Hendricks. I'm a Hendricks guy.
I'm a Hendricks fan too, but
I think it's a little stupid. It's the rule for the first time probably in NASCAR history. The rule is in black and white. Do not touch this part.
Don't monk with it.
If you touch this part, you will be penalized. Chad Knaus admitted to touching this. It didn't say, don't touch this part unless we screw up. It said, do not touch this part. No matter what, don't touch this part. They touched this part. They said they touched this part. The NASCAR Appeals Board comes out and says, nope, rules black and white. Don't touch this part. But we're going to give you your points back. It makes no sense whatsoever to me. They might as well, in the beginning, NASCAR would have been better off to say, you know what? It was Rick that did this. We're going to let it slide.
When NASCAR says no, they mean no.
But the Appeals Board mean yes.
I might have offended someone there.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean,
an F1 fan?
We've been talking for 20 minutes. We've offended a lot of people by now. I'm sure.
Maybe I offended an F1 fan.
Well, Daniel Suarez was also penalized $50,000 last week for his actions on pit road at COTA. Now, I have a problem with this. This is just another glaring example of NASCAR's inability to be consistent. Ty Gibbs last year door slammed somebody. I think it was Ty Dillon.
It was Ty.
On pit road.
Mm-hmm.
So Ty Gibbs goes
It was a tie battle.
Yeah. So Ty Gibbs does this on pit road around team members or crew members, whatever. He's penalized 25 points, 25 owner points, and $75,000. Now, William Byron got a little rough on the track, and he got his points back, but he had to pay $100,000. I think what William and what Ty Gibbs did are two different scenarios, but I do think what Ty Gibbs did last season
did it during the caution.
Exactly. That's
and the front stretch where what Ty did was
no crew members.
Pit row with officials and crew members working on cars.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. They're completely different scenarios. But what Ty Gibbs did and what Daniel Suarez did, in my opinion, are exactly the same.
Well, here's another thing you can throw into the mix. What Denny did, he's getting points and a fine. Suarez isn't getting points?
Correct. And at the end of the day...
But what Suarez did was way worse than what Denny did.
Josh Williams got parked. He parked his car.
They told him to park his car. They said park your car.
He parked it.
He followed to the letter of the
and
ruling.
They made him sit out for a week.
They did give him pizza.
That's true.
Papa John's.
Well, I think his punishment, because he lost points and money, so his punishment was more severe than Daniel Suarez, who could have very easily killed somebody. If Alex Bowman wouldn't have hit the brakes and stopped his car, it could have easily shot left and killed that crew member who was standing right next to him.
Well, you can see on the in-car camera, there's even a NASCAR official standing there, too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It could have killed that official.
Tire changer and the official.
Yet, Josh Williams put nobody's life at risk. All he did was give NASCAR the proverbial middle finger, basically. Which he didn't. He did the peace sign.
He did do peace.
He did the two fingers, not the one.
He did the deuce.
So, but what he did gets a worse penalty. That's what I don't understand. Like, the severity of the crime and the severity of the penalty aren't matching up. You got worse things, like almost killing somebody with here, just pay us 50,000. Pay us 50,000 pesos, Daniel. It's okay. And then you got Josh who parks on the front straightaway and they're like, you know what, dude? You're not racing here next week.
I think it's going to be dollars and not pesos.
I said pesos?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. $50,000. I was converting it. I was actually helping.
I think if you convert it, it's like 500,000 pesos.
I think our money's equal now.
Nah, are you sure?
I have no idea.
I don't know either.
I know that Mexico has the peso. China has the yen.
Every time I've been at...
That's about all I know.
Mexico, it's been all-inclusive, so I didn't have to pay any pesos. I paid dollars. And
all-inclusive, so they take... Everybody can come to the resorts, what you're saying?
Everybody can pay the fee.
Oh, all inclusive, like everything's included.
Yeah.
Not included.
Like if you're outside the wall, it's all exclusive. You're excluded. Like, or is it exclusive for you because you're inclusive? I don't know.
Now I'm all confused.
Yeah.
Won't be going back to Mexico anytime soon.
Well, they are just kidnapping us, and they're gun violencing us, too.
So, on last week's episode...
Did you see that? They're gun violencing us in Mexico?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of gun violence in Mexico.
Yeah.
There's even people violence in Mexico, if you haven't watched.
Yeah, I've got this touchy Smith & Wesson 22.
Is it violent?
I've seen it walk out the door, and I've heard some... I mean, that sounds like caps. It's a 6-shooter. I've just heard it go off on its own. It's a very violent gun.
Well, you need to get rid of that.
I keep it locked up now. It can't get out because the lock's on the outside of the box.
At least put a chain on him so he can't go too far.
Well, he thinks he has Second Amendment rights all on his own.
That's the problem. He's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
That gun would stop thinking. We wouldn't have this problem.
Well, I think they included a little brain cell in the 1920s guns. I've inherited from my great-grandfather. So, I keep it because it's my right to have.
Amen.
But
I'm all for that right.
It wants to do its own thing.
I practice my Second Amendment right.
You ought to practice all your amendment rights, to be honest with you. Don't you think?
Oh, yeah. That's why we got them.
Like, here. Freedom of press, dude. Or does that mean something else?
So that's what we do.
We're pressing.
We're recording.
Oh, yeah, media.
Freedom of press.
Freedom of speech, too.
Put your helmet back.
Is that what Woodall's doing? His freedom of speech?
You need to put your helmet back.
But it's on our platform. So, Timothy, we're going to restrict your rights of free speech on our platform.
I'm pretty sure he subscribed and unsubscribed from the channel because I responded to him and I lost a subscriber that day.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care. Bye, Timothy.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a platform too, and therefore we're going to talk crap.
Peace, Timothy.
We'll see you. Yeah. So on last week's episode of the Dale Jr. Download, Mike Davis said that maybe NASCAR is just the aggressive series. Maybe that's who we are.
It is
maybe
who we are.
We should embrace it, and maybe we should just own it. Because after COTA, we had these big-time superstar drivers, and Jordan Taylor and Jimmy Button and Jensen Button.
That wasn't Jimmy Buffett?
No, I think he was there watching, but he wasn't in the race.
Oh, okay. I thought he was driving.
Kimi Räikkönen.
Yeah.
So they all complained about how aggressive NASCAR is, and we see it every week.
Is that the same when you see them race F1? There's Räikkönen signs all over. Is that because of Räikkönen?
Probably not.
No.
But those guys can't beat and bang because the cars, it's open wheel. You'll die.
They're very fragile.
I mean, although the Indy race yesterday, they were...
Well, I think they figured out how to bang into each other.
I mean, they're getting close enough to scare the crap out of me.
Well, they're putting some wheel marks on their door if they had a door.
Oh, that's insane.
At 220?
So all these guys were complaining about how aggressive we are in NASCAR. But, you don't think they knew that coming in? Like, had they never watched a NASCAR race? I mean, how many weekends do we not discuss somebody wrecking somebody? And if we're discussing it, it's because it was a horrible... I mean, NASCAR was built on fighting. We were moonshiners that built this sport. You think moonshiners didn't fight?
Yeah, it developed from seeing who could deliver the liquor quicker to, all right, well, that was fun. Let's put an oval out in the cornfield after we harvest, and let's see which liquor is quicker.
So, I mean, you go to...
That doesn't make any sense, does it?
Well, liquor is quicker. Wine is fine.
But liquor's quicker.
That was a Ozzy song.
Yeah, it was.
Off the Randy Rhoads tribute album.
Wine is fine, but whiskey's quicker.
Yeah, that's exactly how he says it.
Then I'll do it all with liquor.
I don't think that's what he said.
Well, that's all I know.
Wine is fine, but whiskey's quicker.
Well, that's the second week in a row I've saying.
Suicide is slow with liquor. That's what he says.
Well, it wasn't slow with Ozzy. Isn't he like 80? He's like Joe Biden.
He's still running around.
I'd vote for him for president.
They actually talk a lot alike. Hey, Sharon! Go!
Sharon!
Yeah! So Freddie Kraft and Brett Griffith from DBC, they always say the reason fans get mad over these green-white checkers is because it takes out one of your fantasy picks or one of your sports betting picks, or, it costs you money in some way. I kind of disagree with it. What makes me mad is when I watch my driver work all day to come from the back to the front, and we have an uneventful race, and then we have 19 green-white checkers, and my driver, who had worked his way up to 5th for a decent finish, ends up finishing 32nd because of the 19 green-white checkers that we had at the end of the only 2 cautions you had the whole race are the stage breaks. And then you have 19 green-white checkers. I don't know if it's a good look, a bad look. I don't know the answer. Do I want to see green-white checkers go away? Probably not. I do enjoy watching the race finish under green. I don't want to watch the race finish under yellow.
I don't have a gun in my bag. That's my work bag.
Oh, okay.
I was just checking.
Okay, I know what.
So I just checked because I'm not actually using my Second Amendment rights right now.
It's probably in the car.
Well, there's always one in the car.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so it's with you.
Well, no, there's another one in my other bag for when I'm in different cars.
There's a gun like 15 feet from you, so it's okay.
That's okay.
I'm just saying, you're technically using your Second Amendment right. If you want to bear my arms.
Is your gun over there a violent gun?
No. I only buy non-violent guns.
That's good.
I gave my gun a background check, and I made sure he's never committed a felony. He's never robbed anybody. We did a 100-point.
So it's a good gun.
He's a good gun.
Okay,
good gun.
Good.
You heard that gun? You're good, right?
Other than that one gun I inherited, all my guns are good.
Well, he's a Springfield.
Oh yeah, I like Springfield.
It's only 45.
Yeah,
but I mean that's
it'll stop you.
It's older than 40.
Yeah, it'll stop you.
Oh, it'll stop you. All right. Yeah. That's why I like it. I don't have to worry about somebody's violent gun attacking me because I have a non-violent gun.
You could, with some self-defense, stop a gun attacking you?
Probably.
A violent gun?
Yeah. You just turn it around.
So you can prevent gun violence.
Only.
Yeah.
Only you can prevent gun violence.
Or
maybe that's what we need.
Yeah.
We need Smokey. Come on back out of retirement. You think Smokey the Bear from Colorado Rockies has a whole new meaning now than it did when we were kids?
My kids think Smokey the Bear's hilarious.
Smokey!
Maybe that's why.
You know who Smokey is?
Yeah, the bear.
The guy from Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Smokey's in the bushes taking a crap.
Oh, yeah.
That was Smokey. Who was that? Tucker. Chris Tucker, right?
Chris Tucker was Smokey.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite characters. That's a great movie. I mean, Friday's a very good movie.
So back to the fantasy. I agree with you. That's not why we get pissed.
No, that's not. I don't think it's when they race that hard all day and for it to all be washed away at the very end because of green-white checkers, I'm just not a fan of it. It's just, to me, it just cheapens what you had. The product's cheapened by that.
Oh, you know what was violent? You didn't come, but we had a company field trip.
Yeah, I heard about that.
At Porsche driving experience.
Had a good time.
Those Porsches are violent.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That's car violence there.
Yeah.
They let us go into this place where they wet it down.
Well, only the person driving could have been violent to make it car violence.
That's true. So I was violent behind the wheel.
Were you?
Yeah. Well, that was a great experience. Should have gone.
That was my son's birthday.
Oh, okay.
Give a shout out to Chandler Smith. He won the Xfinity Series race on Saturday.
You're not angry at him?
Yeah.
He didn't troll us on the
No, he didn't.
Social medias?
No.
Okay.
I'll give a shout out also and say congratulations to the junior motorsports drivers. They did not wreck each other this week.
That's quite a
Although Brandon Jones did wreck, but in case you were worried, he didn't. He did wreck. Which he's been good at that since Truck Series. He was really good at wrecking. He must have a lot of... That's the Ream dude, right?
Yeah, that's his dad's CEO of Ream. Is it AC or hot water heaters?
Water heaters.
So
the plumbing division. So
that's who Ty wrecked last year.
Jones?
Yeah.
Well, his dad must be paying good money for his ride because dude wrecks all the time.
So what do you think a car costs? $100,000?
$150,000.
You think his dad ponies up that cash every time he wrecks?
I think his dad probably got the connection with Menards.
Even if you're a millionaire, I mean, after a while, $150,000 a week gets a little expensive.
I think that Menards sponsorship is probably worth a lot. I think that's why no offense to Brandon Jones. I mean, I guess it is offensive for me to say that he bought that ride.
But is it gun violence offensive?
It's not gun violence offensive.
See, I mean,
we're still saying gun violence.
Are we?
Chainism is going to be all tore up.
Timothy's going to lose his nuts.
Well, he only gets mad over cop things.
Oh. Well, what about a cop doing gun violence? Do you think he gets mad at that?
Yeah, that would really set Timothy off.
Man, Timothy, you need to.
So here's something I've never said on the show, Jamie.
Well, say it.
I think it was a perfect storm. I had a really good day Sunday. I was on the Deacon of the Week team Sunday. I had to be at church early. Had the first service prayers, the one I had to do. Everything went great. Had a great time at church. Service went good. Came home. Me and my son grilled out on the grill. Had another meeting at church that went good.
Oh, like a busy Sunday, really.
Very busy. I came home and then I watched the race on Fox. And by God, I thought it was a pretty darn good product Fox put on the track.
On the Richmond race?
Yeah.
But
the race was better, but Fox...
You think Mac Reynolds might have improved it a little?
A little is an understatement. Whatever Fox needs to do
Clint was better person with Mac Reynolds there.
What Clint's stupidity didn't really carry the torch. Clint doesn't add anything to the race for me. Like, Clint's not adding any kind of insight into what's going on in the driver's head. But I think when you
bring Mac Reynolds in, you bring up the intelligence bar.
By a lot.
Clint reaches for that bar, so his performance is better too.
I just think Mac Reynolds is that much better because I do think Larry Mack being in the booth makes Mike Joy better because him and Mike have a natural chemistry that they have. They've worked together in the booth for years. So putting them back together is like an old-time reunion.
So have you ever had like a homemade chocolate chip cookie and the person that baked them forgot the salt?
No, I don't know.
It's pretty bland.
Like Clint and Mike.
But you add Mac Reynolds.
Then it's like...
He's kosher salt, dude. Maybe he's Himalayan pink salt.
It's like a Pillsbury.
Yeah.
So you go from Walmart brand to Pillsbury.
You can taste the difference.
You can taste it, for sure.
Or
hear it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think it was great. I think Larry does Larry does a good job in the broadcast trailer in Charlotte when he's on the race for an hour. Or he ain't even on there an hour. He gets to come up
when
twice.
He's doing the cutaway on the cars, he's pretty good.
Yeah. But he brings insight. I will always say, you need a announcer like Mike Joy or Rick Allen or Adam Alexander. You always need your color commentator, your play-by-play commentator in the booth. Then a driver, crew chief. Yes. One of each. 2 drivers, too much. That's why Steve Letarte, Dale Jr. work so well together. Even Burton dude, Jeff Burton. It doesn't overpower it because you got Jeff and Dale, and then you got Steve Letarte to balance them out. But Steve brings such a knowledgeable insight to the broadcast.
To the nuts and bolts of how the race progresses.
Correct.
Yeah.
But see, I think drivers like Kurt Busch, he does a phenomenal job of explaining what the driver's mindset is in the car at that moment. Just like Larry Mack can explain what the crew chief's mindset is or what they're going to do or what they're thinking about doing because he's been in that mindset. Clint, I don't know where Clint's at because he's not really explaining to me what the mindset of the driver is.
He did drive the Jack Daniels car.
So you think it's a drinking thing?
Probably.
Just brain cells burnt from too much whiskey?
Our little friend, GoDaddy girl, didn't she accuse him of being drunk?
Yeah, I don't know.
Danica?
I'm sure. But nobody listens to Danica anyway.
Just no one listens to Clint either.
Well, y'all can write this down.
Write it down.
April 3rd.
April 3.
Brad
said.
Fox did a good job.
Whoa.
I mean, this is episode, what episode is this? 56?
56.
Yeah, it took 56 episodes for me to say Fox did a good job.
So, we don't have enough. We got what?
That's roughly 112.
How many subscribers we got? 400, 500?
Something like that.
So, if there is a Fox employee that happens to listen to us, Mac Reynolds is your guy.
Oh, yeah. Whatever it cost. If you had to
I think our problem is cost is the problem. So
instead of giving away $5,000 of Clint's money every week, give it to Mac Reynolds every week.
Oh, I thought they gave $100,000 every week.
I think it's $5,000.
That's it?
Yeah, something like that.
That's probably why I've never tried.
Fox Super 6, Bet 6.
That's probably why I didn't even.
It might have been $100,000 to start, but Clint ran out of money real quick, so it got down to $5 now.
Because that Jack Daniels ain't free no more?
Probably.
Oh, boy.
But instead of giving Clint's money away, give it to Larry Mack.
Yeah.
Because he helps you bring a much, much better product to the track. And can't argue with the product.
Like that product for Indy in Texas. That was a great product.
I mean, for the most part, the race was pretty uneventful. I mean, we had 8 cautions for a total of 54 laps. 2 of those cautions were stage breaks. 6 were incidents.
We had a decent amount of leader changes, though.
A lot of passing.
Yeah, 2 lanes. Not a single lane.
How many leaders do we have?
I mean,
22 lead changes among 11 drivers.
Weren't you excited when Josh Berry led for a little while?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Even though he only led because he stayed out.
But coming in second, and he had to go through the pack, dude.
And he finished second because of pit road strategy.
Yeah.
But still, he finished second. That's awesome. I mean, we like Josh Berry.
Oh, yeah. He's going to be a good driver.
He already is a good driver. But he's got that grassroots feel. You know, he's like.
And he's not
a good one to pull for because of that grassroots.
Daddy's not Mr. Moneybags.
No, I mean,
his last name.
Dale Jr.
is not
get where he's at.
Gates or Musk.
Well, I mean, they said, like TJ Majors, they said TJ stands for Thank Junior. I mean, Josh has to be thanking Dale too. And
well,
I'm okay with that.
And but I'm pretty Dale has the money to invest. Dale's his daddy.
I'm pretty sure
Dale's your daddy.
TJ and Josh are okay with Dale helping them out.
Yeah, Dale's your daddy. So or do you say Dale Jr.'s your daddy?
So the first caution came out when when Denny Hamlin.
Dale's dad.
Denny Hamlin wrecked J.J. Yaley because J.J. Yaley in the 15 car was apparently in his way.
It was too slow, so he gave him a little. That was a love tap. I think he likes the guy.
I just hope Denny don't go on his show today and say, well, I wrecked J.J. Yaley on purpose.
I haven't listened yet, so I don't know.
It wasn't out, so I definitely haven't listened. But some guy called in Sirius XM yesterday, and he said that maybe Denny Hamlin should focus on driving and quit focusing so much on his podcast and owning a team.
I don't know. The way he bumped into JJ and wrecked him without any damage to his own car, I think he was pretty focused on that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
He knew what he's doing.
I don't think Denny has a focus issue. I mean,
no.
Denny led some laps yesterday too. I mean, he finished 20th.
So
he led 71 laps.
So Denny has his social media haters too, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, this guy obviously is not a Denny fan.
Hey, we are a company, but can we afford the $1,000 a month for the blue check mark on Twitter? I don't think so.
No, just so we can have polls. You can't even vote. Like Jeff Gluck's poll, last time I checked, was 81% of the people said yes, it was a good race.
So where you put it on 1 to 10?
Me?
You enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did, but I enjoyed the broadcast, everything.
But that's part of the whole experience.
I'm going to go with a 7. And considering last season I gave Richmond like a 2, I think that's a 5 point
I gave it a 1.
Yeah, 2, I was being generous probably.
I give it as a 7. Too.
I still don't think Richmond deserves 2 races.
Well, if the fall race is as good as the spring race, I'm going to say yes, they deserve to. Where are you going to put it, Texas?
Well, I mean,
NASCAR owns Richmond, though, don't they?
Probably.
So it'd go to a NASCAR track.
Well, I mean, do a third race in Daytona. That really pissed some people off.
Oh, man. Those super speedway haters.
Hey, let's piss some other people off. How about Ryan Blaney fans? We're going to start calling him Ryan Marker Blaney.
I mean, what's happened to him? I used to be a fan. He's just...
Ever since this new next-gen car, he has definitely had a mental block somewhere going on. I mean, yesterday he left pit road with equipment. I mean, yes, that's his team's fault. But he wrecked Josh Berry because he overdrove the corner.
And then Josh Berry still beat you, Blaney.
Yeah.
After you wrecked him. So
but it's not like Blaney's a threat to win any.
Well, he ain't a finisher. He hasn't
threatened to win the last 2 years.
He ain't a closer. I mean, how many times did he come in second place last year?
Just to make Freddie happy, I can tell you right now, Blaney screwed me in fantasy. I will pick Cody Ware before I pick Ryan Blaney again. You take it to the bank.
Well, the way LaJoy's going, he's a good pick. So
not Cody.
Cody LaJoy.
Cody Ware.
I thought it was LaJoy. Cody LaJoy.
It's Corey LaJoy.
Oh yeah, Corey.
You don't even have your.
I need my helmet back on.
You need your Lollapalooza hat on.
My thinking helmet.
Your thinking cap.
Here we go. Let's go for safety.
You remember the helmet that he wore on Honey, I Shrunk the Kids that had the magnifying glasses on it?
Do I need a magnifying glass on this?
That's why next week on What Will Jamie Wear?
I have a Lollapalooza Maryland hat.
There you go. Wear it next week.
Yeah.
Jamie's going to wear something different and interesting every week. So if you listen to the show only, you're going to need to start checking us out on YouTube as well.
Somewhere I have a Rastafarian...
Rasta.
Whatever.
I'm correcting you on
colorful hat with fake dreadlocks.
Where you go?
I bought it on a cruise.
I'd have to have a hat with fake hair to have real hair. Think I'd look like Joey Logano if I had hair?
Would you drive your Polaris and go shake it?
Is that what Joey does?
Yeah. Haven't you seen his little...
No.
You haven't seen his ad?
No, I fast forward through them.
Well, sometimes it just pops up on YouTube when you watch some of our other podcasters.
What about Harrison Burton being in everybody's way? It's like he had a hard on for Hendricks yesterday.
Isn't that how he drives every week, though?
Well, you got a point. You made the comment recently that you didn't think he deserved to be in the 21, and after watching him yesterday pull some massive rookie mistakes, like twice, Christopher Bell needs to add Harrison Burton to his Christmas card list because Christopher Bell got the lead twice because Harrison Burton was blocking the leader. First time was William Byron. Second time it was Kyle Larson.
So do you think, what was the guy that drove it before him? What was his name? Lamborghini guy.
Oh, Dental Better?
Dental Bintio?
Yeah, Dental Bintio.
Yeah, Dental Bintio.
Yeah, Dental Bendo.
So why not give LaJoy a chance?
In the 21?
Well, it's better than he drives now.
I don't think so.
Well, they just buy that. It's the cars out of the box. They buy it from Penske,
I think
isn't it?
Spire is spending more money a year on
Spire
LaJoy.
Admitted they increased their budget for LaJoy this year.
Correct. They're spending more for LaJoy than
the Wood Brothers?
The Wood Brothers are spending for Harrison Burton. Harrison Burton needs to go back to the Xfinity Series or something. He needs help.
Well, LaJoy has proven this year and last year that investment in him will pay off.
Very much so.
He's a good driver.
And he's out driving his equipment every week.
8, as we said before, 6 to 8 spots better than the car's value.
So also yesterday you had
Ross did an F-bomb.
Tyler Reddick spun out for no reason on lap 22. Dude won last week, and this weekend can't even keep his car under him. But I will say this. I listened to Dirty Modo.
Do you think it's because it's Toyo?
Probably.
I think Toyota is the problem.
No. Reddick struggled at any track other than super speedways and road courses.
If you look at him, he's kind of cross-eyed, though.
Maybe that's his problem.
He's seeing two.
He's never run good on short tracks.
Objects
from what I can remember. He did decent at Bristol Dirt, but that doesn't count. That's a novelty race. It's not even real.
Yeah, let's fix something that's not broke.
Yeah, that's the NASCAR way.
Whatever.
I listened to Dirty Modo, and Steve Letarte was saying that.
I've never listened to it. Do you like it?
Actually, I like it a lot.
Okay.
It really.
I'll have to try.
It doesn't help with mine and your fantasy game that we play on here, but it helps with my NASCAR fantasy live picks. It helps there. Like this one, the show comes out on like Thursday, I think, maybe Wednesday. I have no idea. Comes out later in the week, so it doesn't help me on this show, but it's actually pretty good. I've only listened to it twice now, but I've added it to my listening list. So it's been that show the last 2 weeks for me. I've run out of podcasts around Friday to listen to because I've been putting in a lot more time on the road. Work, a lot more driving.
Well, we travel a lot in our job.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, there's plenty of podcast time. Summer's going to hit.
Yeah, but
you forget where you stopped at, but it's coming.
That's what I'm saying. Like I run out of podcasts by the end of the week, and by the end of the week, Sirius XM's the same crap over and over. So by Thursday and Friday, it's like, all right, let's start talking about the next weekend and stop talking about the same old crap. I mean, they complained about the Hendricks appeal for 2 days. I guarantee you they're going to complain about it again tomorrow. They'll pick back up after today.
I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. They followed the process and they won.
So on the last restart, with 21 laps to go, or not the last restart, the next to the last restart, Christopher Bell puts William Byron in the wall. Christopher Bell gets out of the car and proceeds to tell everybody that it was Ross Chastain's fault.
Well, yesterday I took my Boxster out, and road was a little slick because it rained beforehand, which normally I wouldn't take it out, but I got to keep the battery alive or buy a trickle charger, and I'm cheap, so I just drive the car.
Yeah.
So the back end wiggled around. I didn't put up the air dam, but I think Ross Chastain was at fault there. Yeah, I think he put the water on the road.
Well, it's come to light recently, and because there's not really good video evidence of Juan Pablo hitting the jet dryer, you missed Ross Chastain throw the watermelon on the track from the stands.
Oh, that makes sense. Back when they were stands in the backstretch, because there were then.
And Juan Pablo yanked it right to miss watermelon and hit the jet dryer. But there's no good, the video evidence isn't there. Cell phone cameras just didn't have that good of a quality at the time.
And Fox was covering it too.
Yeah, that's why they missed it. But it has come to light that Ross Chastain did. I mean, he caused a lot of wrecks, He prevented Dale Earnhardt from winning a lot of Daytona 500s.
Well, I'm growing this goatee. My wife said she didn't like it. I blamed it on Ross Chastain.
Did you?
I did. I said Ross Chastain's fault. She doesn't know who Ross Chastain is. So she accepted it.
I should have told, when I got the speeding ticket mailed to me in the mail, I should have told my wife it wasn't me, it was Ross.
Yeah, he was driving your Mini Cooper.
I probably could have got the ticket thrown out by blaming Ross.
Yeah, I think you could have.
Everything's Ross. Like, I don't know why. I mean, is Ross an overly aggressive?
Well,
I'm not saying overly. Is Ross an aggressive driver? Yes. But so is every other young kid coming into this sport. The guy's complaining the loudest about respect me. Nobody has respect. You're like, okay, Grandpa, shut up.
Well,
Denny Hamlin. I'm sorry, he's later in the years. You got
or long in the tooth.
Martin Truex,
long in the tooth.
Kyle Busch. I'm a Busch fan.
He's not that long in the tooth though.
But he's on the older side of the drivers list.
He's on the spectrum.
Yeah. Kevin Harvick. Well, older.
I'm on the spectrum too.
Yeah, me too. But I mean, think about it. Like, the guys complaining the loudest about Ross's disrespect are the older guys. Younger guys aren't complaining because they're just as disrespectful. But those guys complaining, Denny,
embrace
Joey,
it, guys.
Kevin,
Joey shows no respect anyway. So
Kevin would wreck him in a heartbeat.
He did.
Denny has done it.
He just did
All
it.
these guys. Yeah,
JJ Yelly.
He just won't admit it. It was an accident. Car wouldn't turn.
Oh, but I hit him in the right spot to spin him out.
Car wouldn't turn.
Do no damage to my own car.
Car wouldn't turn.
No, screwed up.
SMT data's broke.
Yep.
Look at the data.
I didn't pour STP in the gas tank.
That's what it goes wrong when you don't pee in the gas tank.
Ross didn't pour STP in the gas tank. Ross did it.
Ross made me hit Yaley. It was Ross. I think it was Ross's fault. Denny thought that was Ross in front of him. Spun out JJ Yeley and said, "Oh crap, that wasn't Ross Chastain. Therefore, it's Ross Chastain's fault."
We'll see tomorrow when they post his podcast if he admits that Ross Chastain caused the accident.
I'm thinking NASCAR should penalize Ross Chastain $50,000, 50 owners points, 50 drivers points, and make him sit out 2 weeks for Denny Hamlin wrecking JJ Yeley. What do you think?
Yes.
I think it makes sense. Why would you not do it? Like, if Denny thought Yaley was Chastain, it makes it Chastain's fault.
Well, I don't like Christopher Bell.
I don't know why I don't like him either. He's the baby face, maybe. But I think it has more to do with the fact he's a Gibbs driver. Yeah, that's it.
He's the young hope for Gibbs, him and Ty.
Ty's the future of Gibbs.
Ty finished well.
He's getting better.
Top 10.
I mean, it's better than the back. He's running better than Bubba.
Now, I saw Ross down there 3 wide. I didn't see where it was his fault. Like Bell
said that Ross put him 3 wide. He actually put him 4 wide. But that's racing. There's 21 laps to go. You get what you can get when you can get it. If you don't go for it, you're not going to get it at all, right?
Yeah.
So
it's all about winning, right?
100%.
So
I think it's just a trackhouse thing. I mean, Daniel Suarez tried to take out Kyle Larson on pit road. He's like, I'm not going to be able to beat Kyle on the track, guys. So you want me to go ahead and hit him on pit road? And I said, yeah, go ahead, Suarez. So Suarez just turns left and takes off the front end of Larson. But it ended up screwing Suarez more than it did Larson. So
Larson still won. I mean, sorry, Suarez.
Yeah, Larson led 93 laps. I'm sure he was expecting the caution to come out with 3 to go and give the win to somebody else, but it didn't.
I was a Suarez fan. I'm cooling off on him.
I'm just not a Suarez fan.
I was.
I
don't hate him, but he's.
Yeah, I don't dislike.
I'm lukewarm on him now. I'm cooling off.
I don't hate him like Joey Logano hatred.
Yeah. Well, I don't hate Joey, but I love disliking him very much.
What sucks about Joey is I dislike him on the track.
He's great in the booth.
Yeah, it's really making me change it. The hair is a little ridiculous.
But
there's like a cat curled up and went to sleep on top of his head.
It's just like in our careers. If you don't embrace change, it changes without you, right?
Correct. Change is going to happen.
Yeah. So you might as well accept the change, embrace it, and maybe you can improve the change so the change is even better than it was before you embraced it.
Fly.
You like that little team meeting I did there?
I do.
Yeah.
See that fly?
That was a big ass fly.
What
the hell is that fly trying to fly into our pie holes for?
You're trying to get on the podcast. Be a famous fly. Did you watch the Indy race at Texas?
I did. It was a good race. I was surprised they put on such a good race.
We had Ward had the whole field a lap down at one point. And I think the race ended with 8 cars on the lead lap. But, dude, I'm telling you, with 80 laps to go, those 8 cars were racing harder. And, I mean, they weren't wrecking each other.
Well, they had that perfect caution to where they could all get gas and then they could drive like nut jobs.
Yeah. Well, that's what.
So they weren't conserving fuel anymore.
Ward would have won the race hands down without that caution.
Yeah, he would have.
That put everybody back on equal ground. Put 8 cars on the lead lap, and then they went at it. But they raced hard, man. And then 2 laps to go. Grosjean he gets loose. I mean, and that was hard racing is why he got loose.
Indy's putting on a good product this year
It was
so far.
Great racing. 2 laps to go. Grosjean gets loose, hits the wall. Caution comes out. Joseph Newgarden was in the lead over O'Ward at the time.
I thought
no green-white checkers there.
Thought he was going to win.
I think O'Ward would have. He was setting up to pass Newgarden, and I think he would have won one more lap.
Yep, that's what I was thinking.
I think he was waiting on his boost to pass to use it on the last lap or going into the last lap.
Do you think we ought to give you a couple boost in NASCAR?
I don't know.
It'd make it more interesting.
Might help them pass more.
Give you 3 stages, give you 3 boost.
1 bottle of NOS. Use it whenever you feel.
Just enough.
Just a small bottle.
Yeah, just to pass 1 car.
Or, if you want to use all of it, half of it, a quarter of it.
Telemetry, they can you use your boost, they cut it off through the radio frequency.
Well, I mean, you just give them 1 can.
Or you could do that.
Use it till it's gone.
Okay.
You can give them a small can, just a little like fire extinguisher size cans. They might get 2 passes out of it. Maybe they use it on a restart instead.
Well, that'd fix Martinsville, wouldn't it?
It'd be awesome.
That would be so cool.
Nossing it coming off the turn. So that was at Texas. The Indy race was at Texas Motor Speedway. And as NASCAR fans, Texas absolutely sucks. It's the worst product NASCAR puts on a track. Happens at Texas Motor Speedway. There's nothing worse. I think the Texas race is worse than Bristol Dirt. And I'm not a huge fan of Bristol Dirt, just because Bristol asphalt is phenomenal. So I'm not a big fan of putting dirt on it. But Texas is much worse. Texas would be like sitting in a high-rise watching cars go around 285. And you see them pass by every hour. It's like watching traffic on the highway. It's boring. So how do we get NASCAR to look like Indy at Texas? Because,
hey, look, you don't have to reconfigure or repave it if you give them boost.
So the Indy cars are running 220, 230 miles an hour around Texas. 217 going into the corners. Turns 1 and 2, they let off. 3 and 4, they're wide open. So we need to double the horsepower of the Cup cars.
Give you a boost.
And give them a boost.
Yep.
And no downforce.
No downforce.
And the only way they can pass is by letting off the gas.
Yep.
Or they could Ross Chastain it at 230 miles an hour and ride the wall all the way around for 500 miles.
That's up to Ross.
I think it's the only thing you can do. You have to give them the speed.
Give them the horsepower. Let them determine what they're willing to do. Think about it. If you can maintain 220 at 90% pedal, you can pass someone and assume that risk, flooring it.
Yeah, I mean,
you're not gonna. You can't floor it the whole track.
It'll be like Grosjean. You might lose it.
Yeah,
coming off turn 4. We used to have cars spin out coming off turn 4 at Texas because they were going too fast. Now the cars don't go fast enough to spin out. Nope. Between the smaller sidewall, more grip, wider tire, more downforce. You know, if you look at it, so everybody likes to say the good old days of racing back in the 70s and the 80s.
Back when someone won a race by 10 laps?
Yeah. But if you look at the cars then, you know what the biggest difference, in my opinion, just visually? The cars in the 80s had like a foot below them.
Oh, yeah.
The cars now are scraping the bottom when they go over a bump.
You can see a car in the 80s and 90s go over debris and it wouldn't mess them up.
Exactly. But now that doesn't happen. So, and I mean, I get it. The lower to the ground they get, the less the air can travel under the car, the more it goes over it, making for more downforce, more grip, faster laps. I get that. But if we're going to be the aggressive series, then we need to make these cars wreck a little better. We should make them safer.
We're the gun violence of racing.
NASCAR is the gun violence of racing.
Yeah.
I can get behind that.
Did you see the F1 race in Australia? What a crock of doo-doo.
The crap show. Dude, they tried so hard. And
if you want to rag on NASCAR, look at F1.
Yeah, you would love NASCAR.
They ended the race with a red flag and then decided, hey, everybody get back in your car and we're going to finish it under caution.
That's because they needed Van Sestemick.
Verstuppenstapfen.
Vasectomy.
Vasectomy? Vasectomy?
Van Vasectomy.
Max Vasectomy?
Yeah. They needed Maxine to win. So, I mean, dude, it's clear that he cheated.
It's so predetermined.
It's a joke.
I love the cars. They're awesome. They're high tech.
I don't even care about all that anymore, to be honest.
Well, I think Indy's kind of, at least here in the States, picking up the slack. I know we got a couple Irish listeners.
We did.
You think I offended them with the pie zones or calzone recipe?
Yeah, I think so.
That we never posted?
That we did send them.
We did send it to them. We just didn't post it on our YouTube or on our podcast website.
I sent them the video, too.
Oh, did you?
I think I did. If I didn't, you're more than welcome to email me and let me know you're still listening. She was the one from Buckhead, not the nice one, but the redneck Buckhead.
Who was married an Irish dude.
Yeah.
A leprechaun.
The boger.
I'm not, if you're a leprechaun, please forgive me. I don't want to offend you.
You just offended every leprechaun listener we have.
Well, we can't really say anything about old Smallwood because he already left our subscription.
Smallwood?
Dillwood, whatever his name is.
Dillwood. Timothy Allwood.
Numbnuts. D's Nuts.
D's Nuts Allwood.
Timothy Gun Violence. Or was that the cop hater?
He was the cop hater.
Oh, he doesn't support the blue. No. Doesn't back it.
That's his problem. I mean, how do you not back the blue? And that's what he does. He just doesn't support cops.
You see what happens in cities that didn't back the blue.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't even visit them anymore.
All right, Jamie. Next week, or this weekend, we're going to Bristol. We're not, but the race teams are. But if we were going, what hotel would we want to avoid in Bristol?
Some of these you might want to go to. You might want to if you're into paranormal activity.
Oh, we got some paranormal.
Yeah, we got some weird stuff going on over there.
Heck yeah.
So, first, this is Ghost of Pigeon Forge.
It sounds like an episode of the Conspiracy Juice Bar.
Review of Colonial House Motel. This was on TripAdvisor. It's a very short review. Got up at 4 a.m. and saw a man walking in our room. After I turned lights on, it seemed to be a ghost. We packed and were ready to leave by 6 a.m. and told the desk worker, and she said she has seen him before. The room was clean, but the pool was gross. So basically, they gave it a 1 out of 5 because of the ghost and the pool. Maybe the ghost used to swim in the pool, but because it was dirty and gross, he came to the room to change out of his bathing suit.
The ghost?
The ghost. Do you think?
Or maybe it's like that hotel review we had a few weeks ago where the owner comes in the room while you're sleeping.
I mean, do you think?
And they're like, no,
so
we're not robbing you. We're ghosts.
Have you noticed ghosts are wearing clothes?
Well, I think they
how do the clothes take on a spiritual aberration? I can see your soul, but your clothing becoming a ghost?
You know, I never thought about it. So you're saying ghosts probably look more like Casper?
I would think so. I mean, maybe
that's more believable than, because like you're right. How do the clothes actually die?
Yeah, isn't that strange?
It is extremely strange.
So your clothes are ghosts now.
I've never thought about it, but
so if we dug up a casket and undressed them, would they be naked ghosts next time you see them?
I think you would go to jail because that's
body stealing,
having sex with a corpse.
Oh, I had said nothing about sex. What are you talking about?
You're undressing them.
Why are you gonna have sex with a corpse? That's disturbing. If
somebody walks up on you undressing a corpse, they're gonna assume.
Well, I mean, that's another review we got.
You're in that naked Raphelio.
We got an acrophilia, right? It's coming up.
All right.
But I'm going to skip it and read the next one, and then we'll go into necrophilia or
last.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always, you always say the best for last.
Yeah, this one's just insane.
That's a teaser.
Yeah.
It's a teaser. We got some necrophilias coming up.
Yeah.
We're on him.
So we're going to Wyndham, of course. This is in Nashville.
We can always count on the Wyndham.
Yeah. I don't know how they have the money for the sponsorship. They sponsor both Indy cars and NASCAR.
Yeah.
They probably should hire us.
They own a ton of Wyndhams. I mean,
I looked up their website. There's chains I didn't think of that they own.
And La Quinta?
La Quinta, which was a nice stay.
Yeah, we had no problem with La Quinta.
No. So they say about the Super 8, Wyndham, Nashville, stay away. It almost took an hour to check in for 2 rooms. The lady at the counter seemed to be on drugs. Her head almost fell on the keyboard several times. She couldn't find my reservation, not even with the confirmation number. That's because they canceled it. You probably booked it on bookings.com and they wanted to get the full mark. So they canceled your online reservation.
But between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m., they do a night audit and they can't rebook you.
Yeah, they won't.
Was Motel 6 a Wyndham?
Yes.
That's the bottom of their Wyndhams?
I think so, according to us.
You can't go no lower than the Motel 6.
You really can't.
Or just the motel.
The room itself was not clean at all. I found a piece of watermelon on the floor, so you know who
Ross
did that.
Had been there.
Ross Chastain.
Ross
ruined that hotel.
This is also Ross Chastain's fault. Found something else.
And he left his socks behind the nightstand, it says here. Sheets had stained on it.
Ross, what have you been doing in that room, Ross?
Ooh, Ross. That's crazy. Dust was all over the place. His teammate drives for Tootsie.
Yeah.
Isn't that a bar in Nashville?
Yeah.
Owned by Kid Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the middle of the night, crackheads were banging on the door.
That's Ross's fault, too.
It could have been.
Ross, let us in. Ross.
There was no breakfast in the morning.
I'd be pissed. That's especially if they tell you.
The pool looked like a public restroom. See, I have a problem with that.
Does that mean it's yellow?
I like peeing outside, but I'm not going to pee in the pool.
Yeah, but wouldn't the chlorine kill the pee?
You would think so. And the elevator smelled like it. Like the pool or like pee. The building is in very bad shape. Concrete is falling off all over the place. The best thing that could happen to this motel is to tear it down and set the place on fire.
That's what we said about Texas Motor Speedway.
Well, set it on. They do have the flames in the winter circle. Yeah.
So all they
they also practice gun violence. They give you guns.
In Texas, nuts? Yeah, there's a lot of gun violence in Texas. Sometimes on winter circle.
So this next review is by Anonymous. The hotel is called Amber Tides. And she says her name's Diana, but she claims she changed her name to protect herself.
Oh, okay.
Probably she didn't want a divorce.
Probably.
So she says, I'm so embarrassed, but I need to share this story. My husband is always away at work. And when he's home, he's thinking about work. My libido has been going crazy. I guess I'm just at that age, said Diana.
That's Ross's fault, too.
Yeah. well, maybe Ross was in the room.
Maybe this is somebody from Trackhouse, right?
Basically, one of my girlfriends told me about this motel called Amber Tides. And I needed a bit of a vacation anyway, so of course I stayed there. I had a few glasses of wine and made my way back to the room. The lights went out on their own, and I could feel the bed starting to tremble. What? But I wasn't like a shake or vibration like those coin-operated beds. It was more like the bed was breathing. It was in sync with me. Wow. I started to feel things I've never felt before.
Definitely Ross's fault.
It was kind of like I was being softly caressed by 1,000 hands. But it was like my entire body became so sensitive to the touch. It was like my entire body was being pleased. It was so overwhelming. This isn't some kind of metaphor you'd read in a filthy romance novel.
Sounds like it.
It literally felt like there were hands all over my body. And no matter where they touched, I felt waves of pleasure. You know, like when you're with a guy who just really knows what he's doing in that one spot. No, I don't have that one spot.
Never happened.
Dang it. Multiply that to your whole entire body. That's what I was feeling. Suddenly,
so she got chastised.
I heard lightning outside and it started pouring rain. I was so into the moment, I felt like I sunk into the bed and was just surrounded by nothing but pure pleasure. I tried to open my eyes and get back to reality, but I couldn't. I wasn't even a human entity anymore. I was in another world. I lost control of my senses. The storm raged on, and I swear to God, I heard someone whisper in my ear, but I don't know what they said. And it didn't matter. It put me over the edge. I felt like I was tied to the bed by an energy, completely submissive. I'm a control freak, but I wasn't afraid. I just went with it.
Probably the drugs she did.
I felt right then, it just stopped. Now I was able to see again. My senses were returning. As I lay in the bed, completely exhausted and honestly a little afraid of what just happened.
I thought she said she wasn't afraid.
Well, now she is. I hate not being completely in control. It's rare for me to even have a few glasses of wine, but it was okay. Well, she's contradicting herself, but it sounded like she had a good time.
I think it was all the fentanyl.
I never felt anything close to that in my life. Yep. Oh, my God. Anyways, I guess my friend wasn't lying, right? There's something about that room. I had to promise not to tell which room it was because it's already been spreading by word of mouth. As soon as any woman hears about this experience, she wants it for herself. And the crazy thing is that my friend and I had the same time there, as did the woman who told her about it.
They were there at the same time?
Wow, no, I think they had the same experience is what she was saying.
Oh, okay.
I slept like a log that night. I haven't gotten such a peaceful rest, ever. On my way out the next morning, I noticed the housekeeper looking at me with a knowing look on her face. She knew exactly what happened.
She knew where her fentanyl went.
And shot me a grin. She seemed eager to get into the room and clean it. So there's some people that actually posted remarks on her review. So Terry Holden says, sounds like an incubus spirit. George Jenkins also said.
An incubus spirit?
Yeah.
Well, it says Lisa Majesty, Incubus.
I looked up Incubus because I know it was a band, but I didn't know it was a spirit that had sex with people.
Yeah. That's where they got the name of the band from.
I didn't know that. I just, whatever.
They even sing about it in some of their songs.
Uneducated. Sorry. Ruby Lucas says, oh, great. Now the women will be checking out this parking spot because George Jenkins says it's now a parking spot. So they paved paradise and put up a parking lot, right? Isn't that a song?
No,
ooh, wah, wah. They paved paradise and they put up a parking lot.
Never heard that one.
Ooh, wah, 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 wah. That's the noise they make in the parking lot.
You heard that song, Semi-Charmed?
No.
You ever heard that song, Semi-Charmed Kind of Life?
Oh, yeah, I have.
You ever read the lyrics to it?
No.
Go read the lyrics. Listen to it and read the lyrics. You'll sing along, but as you read the lyrics, you're like, that song's basically talking about having sex while high on cocaine and meth.
Wow. So that's probably what she did.
That's what I'm thinking.
Diana.
I'm thinking Diana.
She thinks it was a ghost, but it was really...
It's the meth.
It was Ross Chastain after he left the watermelon in Nashville.
Yeah, she bought meth off Ross. That's what it was, I think.
So that's what I got. Those are the hotel reviews.
Well, you don't want to stay at those, or maybe you do want to stay at those.
Well, you got to find that parking lot now.
Yeah, I think it's over near Tootsie's, near Kid Rock's also.
Mm-hmm. You'll see a lot of women in the cars just shuddering.
Yeah. Why are all these ladies laying in the parking lot out here?
What is going on in the parking lot?
I mean, maybe you never know. You never know.
She did give it a 5 out of 5.
I mean, I would imagine.
If that happened to me, I'd give it a 5 out of 5.
If I was laying in a bed and it started feeling like 1,000 people were touching me, I'm going out the window.
Sounds like more than touching.
Oh, I'm sure, but I'm just saying.
But anyway.
If I'm laying in a hotel room by myself and one hand grabs me, I'm going out the window.
Do you think,
or the door or the wall? The fastest exit is how I'm going.
So here's my question: is that cheating? Would her husband get mad?
Oh, it's definitely cheating.
With a ghost?
Yes, she went there with the intentions of being with that ghost. Her friend told her she went. Therefore, it is cheating. Want to,
if you're her husband divorcing her, do you want to tell the judge she had sex with a ghost? That's why I'm leaving her.
I mean, if that's what happened, yeah. But
now you need to come up with evidence.
You have a whole review here. She put it in her words. Like, look, my wife, Diana, as she likes to call herself here, cheated on me. She went to the hotel to have this experience without her husband. If she would have went home with her husband to have this experience, it's not cheating. But to go to the hotel seeking out this,
if I went to that room, I'd wear my helmet.
You need your helmet.
Wouldn't want to put a hole in the wall, or they'd be reviewing the hole in the wall too with toilet paper in it.
Yeah, that's how you fix a hole in the wall.
Yeah,
shove toilet paper in it. All right, so we are going to Bristol this coming up weekend. I don't know why I keep saying next weekend. Like we got a week off or something.
It would be next weekend.
Easter.
It is Easter. Up. They like to race on Easter.
Yeah. So after Jesus rises that morning, they had a NASCAR race.
It's chariot race back in those days.
I do not like them racing on Easter, man.
I think it sucks.
I can't get behind it. Like,
isn't it a night race too? So they can't even go home.
Well, that's why they're doing it at night, so you can still go to church that morning.
So we can, but the drivers can't.
Well, they're having services there. I
think a lot of the drivers happen to be believers in Christ.
I happen to. Well, according to Matt DiBenedetto, he was the first NASCAR conservative, Republican, Christian driver.
Whatever.
All right, so
they drove a Lambo.
Racing this weekend at Bristol, it will be Bristol on dirt, not the good Bristol, but the dirty Bristol.
Dirty B. I dropped my list. Sorry.
I see that.
Dirty B.
Got the Dirty B this weekend. Races at 7 p.m. It's on Fox and PRN. It is a 0.5 mile dirt track. We've only raced here twice before. So out of the last two races here, you got Joey Logano with one.
He had a finish.
With one win.
Happened to be first.
One win and an average finish of 2.0. Tyler Reddick has an average finish of 4.5.
But Kyle Busch backed into that win last year.
Ryan Marker Blaney has an average finish of 6.5. Daniel Reckham Soras has an average finish of 8.0. Kyle Busch has one win here in the next-gen car and an average finish of 9.0. Michael McDowell has an average finish of 10.5. Brad Keselowski's average finish here is 11. William Byron's average finish is 12. And Alex Bowman has an average finish of 14th. Now, we've only run two races here. And last year was our second race here, obviously, in the next-gen car. So the top five for the first race here in the next-gen car was Kyle Busch winning it, Tyler Reddick second, who would have won it if it wouldn't have been for Briscoe. Joey Logano was finished third here last season. I don't know what I was going for. Kyle Larson finished fourth, and Ryan Marker Blaney finished fifth. So we got our little fantasy game going.
You gonna pick him, Ryan Blaney?
No, God, no.
I think you said that before.
So, yeah, I said I would pick Cody Ware before I would pick Ryan Blaney again.
So you gonna pick Cody?
No.
Okay.
But if I'm saying...
You get to pick first since I'm winning this week.
So, Jamie won last week.
There's a lot of leader changes in this race.
Our points go by the lower numbers, the better. So
if you finish first, you get 1 point.
Correct. I had Busch for 14 points, Denny for 20, and Blaney for 26 for a total of 60 points last weekend. Jamie had Tyler Reddick for 16 points, Harvick for 5 points, and Brad Keselowski for 10 points for a total of 31 points, giving Jamie the victory and me the chance to pick first.
At least I win at Richmond, huh?
Yeah, you won at Richmond.
Yeah.
So who do you think? Well, I guess
Well, you go first.
All right.
You're the winner, chicken dinner.
Believe it or not, I struggle with this one, but I'm going to go with Kyle Larson, I'm going to go with, out of my 1 through 10.
Going for a repeat there, huh?
I'm going to go with Tyler Reddick.
Not Armadillo?
Nope. Out of my 11 through 20, I'm going to go with Reddick. And then out of my 21st through 37th, I'm going to go with Byron.
Byron's been on fire this year.
Yeah, and as long as he doesn't get Christopher Belled, he'll be all right. So I got Larson out of my top 10. My 11th through 20th pick, I went with Reddick. And then I got Byron for my 21st to 37th pick. So I guess I should be thanking Christopher Bell for spinning out Byron, or I would have had to pick Cody LaJoie or Bubba Wallace or somebody like that.
Well, I hate to say this, but I'm going with Joey.
I know Logano. That's what I said. That's where I said it was tough for me because I was between Larson and Logano. Logano's got a better track record here consistently, but Larson's on fire.
My mid-pack, who'd you get for?
I got Reddick.
Going Denny Hamlin.
All right.
And let's see.
Who's your back marker? Why don't you take Blaney?
I ain't taking Blaney. I took him before and he screwed me for Phoenix. Going Eric Jones.
Eric Jones.
That
Jones kid.
Old Jones. He's jonesing for a win.
He struggled yesterday.
He's jonesing.
He was in the way a lot yesterday.
He was, but, those petty cars aren't doing much this year so far.
Legacy Motorcycle Club cars.
Yep, the Motorcycle Club.
Yeah, not petty.
Jimmy Johnson's going to have to come out of retirement and straighten that team out. Full time.
It'll take a few years, just like with RFK. It's going to take a few years before RFK turns Roush back around.
Well, they won one last year, right? So maybe they win 2 or 3 this year?
Did they win last year?
Yeah.
Busher won?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe. But I'm just saying it takes time to turn a team around. So
I think Brad's got a win in him this year. He's been up there.
I hope he does. Because Brad's another one that's getting a little long in the tooth and getting up there and towards his retirement years, which is why he bought a race team so he'd have somebody or something to do after retirement. So I think his days are coming to an end. I think Bubba Wallace's days are coming to an end. He had an uneventful race, but
Bubba's mouth.
Toyota should have won yesterday.
Bubba's mouth is getting him in trouble.
You think?
Well, he verbally said he didn't quit, but he said they need another driver.
Hey, he led a lap yesterday.
Well, that's congratulations, Bubba. But Bubba's self-destruction Wallace.
Pretty much.
Michael Jordan ain't going to put up with it.
Yeah, Michael Jordan looked a little
peeved,
distressed on the pit box yesterday. It was cool to see Michael at a race, though. But it's only good for our sport. You have arguably the greatest basketball player of all time.
I agree.
Sitting on your pit box, on your broadcast. That's good for Fox. It's good for NASCAR.
And the other owner's the greatest driver to not win a championship.
Well, he won't make according to TJ Majors, he will not be in the Hall of Fame because he doesn't have that championship.
Other people in the Hall of Fame without championships. I believe Denny Hamlin will be in the Hall of Fame.
I think Denny Hamlin's definitely,
with or without a championship,
definitely a Hall of Famer.
Yep,
no doubt in my mind about that.
Agreed.
All right, that's all I got this week. Got anything else?
That's it, man.
Well, thanks to everyone who listens, watches the show. Make sure you share on social media.
Thanks to those haters who are no longer listening.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
If we pissed you off, please let us know. We'll discuss it on next week's show.
We'll call out the haters.
We'll call you out.
We'll hate on the haters.
We'll hate on the haters. That's right.
Yep.
Make sure you follow us on Twitter. We're at Car Backwards. Go to our YouTube channel. Subscribe. Watch this video. Check out our Conspiracy Juice Bar videos. Check out our shorts. We have a pretty good time with our YouTube videos. So make sure you check those out. Subscribe so you can stay up to date there. Rate us on Spotify. Leave us a review on Apple. Make sure you subscribe on both of those platforms. DM us or email us. We're racecarbackwardspod@gmail.com. like I said, if we offended you, we would love to offend you some more on next week's show. Yeah. So please let us know how we offended you so we can double down on it and offend you more next week.
I forgot something. We are
Cannonball Run Champions.
Cannonball Run Champions.
I had that on my list.
Yeah, we need to add that on the list. And you know what? Have we thanked Janice lately?
Thank you, Janet.
Thank you, Jan.
Hopefully we'll get to see Janet.
We might go see her in Talladega.
Yeah, as long as the timing, as long as they get down.
They get here in time, and then
we can get over there in time.
Yeah. We're going to try to meet up with Janet.
Yeah, that'd be great if we could. Her and her husband will be in. They'll be within 3 hours.
Well, they got to get away from the stink of the Norfolk Southern train crash.
That's true.
Yeah. They got the clean air of Talladega.
But you got to be careful in Talladega, where the racetrack is. That's not far from Anniston, where the PCBs are in their water wells.
Well,
I wouldn't drink the water at Talladega.
You think Janet actually visits Ohio very often? At least recently?
I don't know. She's got a marathon coming up.
Well, maybe
but that's in Pennsylvania.
She'll feel like she's visiting Ohio when she goes to Anniston for the PCBs.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I still want. I've been in the bathroom.
Did you know PCBs actually cause cancer in Alabama and California?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
The two states share something. That's the only thing Alabama and California have in common are the PCBs.
Yep.
That cause cancer.
Yep.
All right, so make sure you check out our merch store. You can find it on our website, racecarbackwards.com. Other than that, that's all I got. Y'all have a great week.
Bye, everyone. See you next week, except for the haters. Bye.
And maybe the haters will be on here and we can hate on them some more.
Maybe they'll enjoy us hating on them.
If you know any of the haters that we hate on, share this with them so they know they were hated on even more.
Yeah.
We don't want to feel left out.
No.
Y'all have a great week. Thanks, everybody. Bye.